In 2007, Robert Davies was framed for the murder of Laverne Ridge. It was an international incident. He was obviously, blatantly framed, and this is because he had a prior for child crimes. But he was framed the first time, too, to cover up raping me in surgery. I know exactly who my attacker was. I met him for the first and only time shortly before Mr. Davies was framed the second time, which was the second time I met him. It's one thing to be gullible and have a moral obligation, but why can't I work with Washington on this? Because they framed him? Maybe they framed him because he's white. Maybe that's why. That's why I'm not allowed to talk to Washington, because I'm white. Just not white enough. Babu doesn't care if this ends up all Nigerian, Central African warlords and little blonde kids. He doesn't. Somebody has to tell him, like Washington's in on it. Did everybody get their cut, Washington? Did every single special agent of the FBI? As long as your whole squad is aware of the potential blowback for your crumb. I know about the offshore account. It's not a bluff. Threat? I mean, it's only treason if you lose. People acting like I gotta be some kind of hacker because they already ripped off the federal government based on the premise that they could argue that they were doing it for me or against me when I could no longer speak to it. It tried to kill me before I found out. Failed. Act like it didn't happen. Listen, if you're not raping little blonde kids, we'll figure it out. I got a video of a black nanny, not to be racist, but walking some little blonde kids by Central Station. I go to the Port Authority, they're like, probably just a babysitter. I'm like, yeah, it's probably some senator's babysitter. I mean, it's a 40-year crack epidemic full of school shootings. This ain't the 50s. Like back when things were going well, we're framing people for child crimes because they're white. Nigerians taking over the healthcare industry and the media blaming the Mexicans for stealing our jobs. Haitians eating ducks in the park, like, oh, free ducks. If 200,000 people starved to death for us to be in Somalia, it goes to follow that after they shot us down, they ate our pilots. I mean, you call yourself some kind of doctor, right? If they ate our pilots, we're not obligated to negotiate with them. We're not compelled to negotiate with anyone who does. We could have solved Beirut, Cuba. So the doctors are letting the third world rape little boys in surgery and then trading their own jobs to Nigeria. It's not just whatever I want. They weren't compelled to go do a bunch of dirt because of me. Because when I traced threats overseas, they act like it didn't happen. I get kicked out of the Catholic Church by police for calling the Nigerian priests Boko Haram and declaring Bring the Dogs to Church Day. They act like it didn't happen. Why point the finger at all if it's legal? Sovereignty, give it to London. Canadians are raping little blonde kids, majesties, my lords. The Koch brothers have been driving a wedge between the CIA and the FBI since before JFK, or, heretics like them. It's actually pronounced Koch, or Koch. The Koch or Koch brothers. I found expert procedural analysis clearing the CIA of involvement in the JFK assassination. I don't care if you like it.